Howdy, all of you delicious people. Fatal Motion Pictures, was he bought up by Sony? Is someone all of a sudden going to take the reins of this channel? It's such a small channel. Why would anybody? Unless they really want to just like, hey, yeah, like I already have this following and it's going to come and yeah. Fatal Motion Pictures, what the is this name change? Why has he changed his name numerous times now from the time of which that I started to be here? Really, a name from a channel has no real kind of name value for me anymore. Really, I can just go on and say that the reason for the name change is more than likely I'm just trying to find a word somewhere in there that is to go on and help this channel change drastically from where it was once before. Really, I can go on and say a word like fatal may have some name value from Mortal Kombat's or certain kind of films of sorts. And like if you go and Google the word fatal next to certain movie names, there is that kind of somewhere. So really, like at some point, I could just go on and like justify that. Kind of like Immortal. Like Immortal did have like a number of like if there's a movie or there's a show or there's something. I think I wanted like very like hilariously brief time. There was at a point where like the channel was just weirdly getting views or weirdly getting subscriptions or whatever just because of some kind of Immortal TV show that was going on at some point that all of a sudden had some viewpoints or something like that. But really, that was just a coinky dink. So really at this point, like if the name of this channel continues to change, just kind of forget about it, just kind of rear view mirror it, just be like, well, okay, like he's trying other things, he's testing whatever goofy thing he's testing, and like at least I'm still on the channel and at least I can figure out where the heck that he of course is to hang his hat on. um like this like this channel doesn't have any name value anywhere. Like there isn't all of a sudden like a Fatal Motion Pictures that exists somewhere else unless someone wants to take the name. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do something else because I could care less. There's been a number of names of stuff at this point that I've gone by this channel, and there's always a different certain sets of names that I can go by still, because I'm very creative. So like really there was always a thing of me just wanting to say reviews somewhere, but like really at this point I'm just like, what difference does it make? Just slap the word reviews on anything. Like I can just go on and just like Fatal Motion Pictures and that'll work. That'll work for me. um, so hopefully any number of a word of a letter of a whatever could change this channel and not go on and have me do so much heavy lifting, because I'll keep on finding those names. I'll eventually change this probably 30 different times until eventually it seems that I'm satisfied with it. There's been times with which that I wanted to go back to the original name, which is Grim Death Griffin, and just kind of stick with that, because technically that does have a sentimental value to me of having that name. But I also would go on and just be like, meh, like let's just go and find something that possibly has some kind of trending value, and to where I don't have to go on and work as hefty or work as hard or work as whatever. Um, all in the ways of which to just try and do something different. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's indifferent, it's still doing something. Um, but yeah, so right now, things aren't really going well for the channel, but I've been here before. I've even had this kind of almost record like thought of just like, man, I could probably just go back onto like where all I started, and I could really just make that what I'm doing here. And like it sounds very tempting, but I don't want to cut and run from this. I don't want to go on and I don't want to go on and feel that like I failed, or like I'm going on and gonna just continue to just jump ship all the time for whatever works. Um, because I feel like I've also grown a number of people that are to like this channel and are to find it intriguing, or eventually go on and review or watch any of the reviews that I do. And plus, also, I think that I've gone on and done such a huge, massive thing here that I don't think that I can really recreate that anywhere. Or really, at this point, if I went on and jumped ship again, I don't think I would get the kind of mass responses that I would have gotten. Or at this point, like it's better just to uh, really just kind of see where this heads, because every day could go on and have me just surprisingly plop this one movie down or this one show down, and it could save the channel. It could turn things around. All of a sudden, I could just be banging on all cylinders and just be like, oh my god, why haven't I ever watched this show or movie before? Because this show is massive. This show is huge. People love this. Oh my god, thank god that I went on and found this one show. So, or this one movie, or this one whatever thing. But it's not all about, uh, it's not all about just like, oh, well, uh, it's not all about me just wanting to just go and find whatever the most trending thing is and nothing else matters, because like that's kind of where I've been kind of like forced to go into, but that's not always where I wanted for this to head with this channel. I wanted to go and find a lot of like-minded people that liked this stuff that I did, or I really wanted to just go on and be like, well, like here's my honest opinion about all these films. And a lot of people would go on and be like, well, yeah, like you're very negative about all these movies. I can't help it. Like, I'm just being honest. I don't want to be positive about everything, and I also don't want to be negative about anything. But when a movie comes into my eye and I'm like, okay, let's watch this, then whatever comes out afterwards is whatever comes out afterwards for that day, for that moment, for that whatever. And so I don't want to change and just be all like, yeah, I love the shittiest movie that I've ever seen, just so I can go on and get an audience. I can get views because I'm positive about everything. Um, because that seems like a performance. And there's a lot of jobs and there's a lot of places and there's a lot of things that'll make you just want to do a performance instead of just being yourself. And so it's just like, well, really when it comes down to it, it's like I don't want to like have me 100% like, yeah, this is a performance, um and I'd rather just be me. So uh whether that means that I'm bashing the out of a movie because I don't get it or I don't understand it, or it's just like this movie is just not at all what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was actually going to be good, and it was nowhere near that in my eyes. Then that's where we are. So, not that I've gotten any comments about like, "Hey, you're being overly negative about this film," because really, I'm just like, There's some people that want me to like have a changed opinion about a movie, and I'm like, I'm not gonna review something. I'm not gonna revisit something unless I already have it already reviewed upon this channel. And really, there's certain films where I could probably go on and in my brain probably just go like, you know what, I probably had a really harsh opinion about this movie, but then I'll probably just turn around and still like, but I don't like it. I still don't like it. But then I kind of realize when I'm doing like show reviews, how all of a sudden I'm like, you know what, I was probably too harsh on this show. Like I realized that I probably was saying like, God, this character should die. They should kill this character off. I hate this show. Blah blah blah. And like they'll have an episode where it's like I still don't like it, but like, and I know there's some like kind of escalation of times where I've gone on and like, ah, this show, but I can't help it. It's whatever the episode is to bring out in me. Um, and at some points, sometimes it's just that's the reason why I don't go on and do shows that I obviously am just like, why go on and do Batwoman? Why be miserable watching that? Even though I reviewed the pilot episode of the first season. And I know a lot of people would go on and be like, why not just watch the more recent product? Like, why go on and like review the first episode of the first season? Because a lot of times, surprisingly, there'll be a mountain of views that comes out of that for whatever reason. Um, that doesn't always happen for everything, but every once in a while, it'll just happen that way. Hence why I do what I do, because it just happens that way. Where all of a sudden it's like, wow, like this show that I wasn't thinking was going to be popular surprisingly is. So, like, really, when looking at it, it's whatever it is that day. If people, because of the name change, of because of whatever, are to no longer like this channel for whatever reason, then that's fine, because at the end of the day, the name will probably change again somewhere down the road. Let me know what you feel about the name change of this channel. Let me know in the comments below if there is a series or a show or a movie that you will view on this channel to help out this channel. I know there has been a lot of people that have gone on and have mentioned things for me to get to, and I never have, because there's some times where I went on and I realized I'm like, yeah, just there's some stuff where it's surprisingly like, ooh, like this did well, but there's also a lot of hidden misses. And I've gone and done a lot of misses and a lot of hits. So let me know in the comments below some movie or some show that, of course, is wildly trending right now. And I'm sure once I review it, I probably won't get a lick of views. Because that will probably happen. So I'm going to try to go on and do the best that I can right now, to just kind of like swerve and kind of try and make the best of what I can with what I can do right now. It's just, I'm going to try to find the best movies and the best shows that I can possibly put out, to just try to just curve around this kind of just downward spiral of where things are going. Um, but yeah, so with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Bye, everybody. Bye, everybody.